G'day viewers, after my close call yesterday, I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one, I thought it might be time to have a little chat about braking technique and the technique I use and the braking technique I feel probably saved my bacon yesterday. Now for many years I always used to brake with 2 fingers, and I felt that that gave me the best control, the best feel of the lever, the best feedback from the front end, and which I did get all those things from that technique, just using 2 fingers. But then I noticed a few times that I had to brake in emergency situations or had to pull the bike up really quickly, and that 2-finger technique wasn't really cutting it, I found. Now if you've got the latest state-of-the-art Ducati with Brembo radial mounted calipers and those fancy master cylinders, yeah, you can brake on 1 or 2 fingers and probably stop it on a dime, but 95% of people aren't riding that type of a bike. And the other thing that happens if you are riding that type of bike and you're using 1 or 2 fingers, you're actually probably doing yourself a disservice because you're training your muscle memory, your mind, your arm to expect that all bikes are going to perform the same as your bike. So when you jump onto another bike that doesn't have the fancy brakes, just has standard braking system, you'll instinctively use your technique 1 or 2 fingers and then find all of a sudden, probably at the worst time in an emergency situation, that you don't have the braking power you need. So what is this technique that I changed to from using 2 fingers? Well, basically it's using my whole hand. It takes a little bit to get used to if you've just been using 1 or 2 fingers, because it does feel really clumsy and cumbersome. But once you do get used to it, I have all the same feel I had with using 2 fingers, but so much more braking power. And if you have been using 2 fingers for many years, the first time you try this, you will be amazed at how powerful your brakes actually are. And I often wonder when I see people complaining about braking power of bikes, whether they are using 2 fingers when they should be using their whole hand. Because it literally feels like the braking power of your bike has doubled when you switch from 2 fingers to using your whole hand. So if you're doing it for the first time, be careful, because you will be surprised at how much of a reaction that braking force has. And the other advantage I believe using your whole hand gives you when braking is reaction times. Because what happens is, if you're braking with 2 fingers in an emergency situation and your bike is not fitted with the state-of-the-art brakes that 5% of the bikes are fitted with, what will happen is you'll pull those brakes on hard with 2 fingers and find that you're not stopping as fast as you might like, and then you've either got to try and release your grip a bit off the bars, get your fingers over and grab that lever again and give it another pull, which, let me assure you, you won't have time to do. So what will happen is you'll just end up pulling those 2 front fingers, pulling on those brakes, and hoping that you will stop as quickly as you can in the time that you've got. Now, how do I know this? That's me. I've been there. That's what happened to me. And when it happened after the second time, I thought, no, I've got to try and find a better way of pulling my bike up quicker. Because if you think about it, if you've got your whole hand grabbing that lever, all you have to do is just do this, just a quick grab. That's much faster than pulling on and trying to readjust the grip to get the full power of your brakes. And once you learn to be comfortable and get used to that position, I won't ride anywhere else now because I just feel so much safer using this technique. Now some might say, well look, the MotoGP riders just use 1 finger, 2 fingers. I think Rossi uses 3 fingers. And that's fine if you're on a racetrack where all the bikes are going in the same direction. You don't have oncoming bikes coming at you. You don't have bikes crossing over left to right. You don't have parents taking screaming kids to school first thing in the morning. You don't have people on mobile phones. Those sort of techniques are fine for the track, but in the real world, on bikes with real world brakes in real world riding conditions, I would much prefer to see you use your whole hand, because the braking performance you're going to get and the reaction times are really what probably saved me yesterday. Because as soon as those sheep sort of just stepped out of nowhere into my path, and I'm travelling at highway speed, before I knew it, you know, it was just a quick grab on those brakes and I was down to walking speed in what felt like 2 seconds. And this is another case for ABS. You know, I could do that because the bike had ABS. Pull those brakes on with the power I did with my whole hand. Without ABS, I may have gone into a endo stoppy situation. I may have just washed the front out. The ABS really did save me in that situation and just allowed me to just pull those brakes on as hard as I wanted to. So if you're in a position where you're buying a new bike and you have the option of going ABS or not ABS, and like in the US, I think they're usually about $800 more expensive with ABS, go the ABS. You'll not regret it, especially if you need to stop quickly in an emergency situation. Alright, I just wanted to share that because I do see a lot of guys riding one finger, two finger braking on bikes that really don't have the braking equipment to be able to stop quickly using that technique. And it's something I've been thinking about, I want to share for a while. So give it a try. If you're using two fingers, try using your whole hand. It will feel awkward at first, and you will notice the significant power your brakes will have from using that technique. But stick with it because I believe it is the superior way to ride on the road these days. And you're not going to be caught out if you ride a mate's bike or a demo bike and you find that your two finger braking just won't cut it on that particular bike. So give it a go. It's not going to cost you anything. It's free to try. And let me know below in the comments if you find that your bike has significantly improved in braking power by using the full hand technique. And if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye for now.